Each bitch. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? It's Area of Effect with another out-of-the-box build, a Santa Claus build for 2025. This one comes with snowballs. That's right, lethal snowballs. There's some updates, subclassing, new sets, but we'll loop back to the formal build introduction after the PvP clips. Enjoy the show. Talk to you in a bit. Ho, 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 Santa's back in town, and if you're on the naughty list, you're going down. Welcome back to Area of Effect. I've got another out-of-the-box build, a very festive-themed build, Santa, swag, and all. And listen, Heavy Attack Healer is still kind of the base of what I'm working with here, but there's been some changes from last year with some new subclassing, with some new skill styles, and even some new sets. So we will incorporate all of that into this video. I believe this is the upgraded version of the Heavy Attack Healer, the Santa build that you all have come to love and know. And I can't wait to jump in. Look at the damage and the healing on some of these. A lot of times you can get 1 mil split, 1 mil damage, 1 mil healing. Let's take a look at the stat screen, starting with the front bar. 33,000 max health. Actually, the crit is messed up. It's actually 50.4%, and the weapon and spell damage over 4K. A lot of recoveries on this build. Check that out. The resistances on the front bar are pretty thick. On the back bar, we hit about 30K resistances. We're using the Jewels of Misrule. It's a cheaper version of the Smoke Bear Haunch. Go with that if you've got it. We want the Thief. Like I said, we're at 50.4% crit on one of the setups and actually 57% crit on the other. There's like a bug where sometimes the crit goes down in battle after you dodge, or I don't know what the heck. But anyhow, we're an orc on this one, the Fat Jolly Orc. PvP focus on this, but you can PvE on this. It's insane. You'd have to run in power, which we don't on this setup for PvP. But I love the orc for all the passives and PvP, as I've always gone into on most of my videos. So go with that. We are a subclassed. Well, before we jump into that, we do have the Undaunted 6% for medium, light, and heavy on us at all times to get the maximum out of those. But we are a subclass build, Warden base, okay? Then we've got the Assassination from the Nightblade, and we've got the Dark Magic from the Sork. But the Winter's Embrace, we're going to get some winter healing out of that. Santa's got to have ice. Come on. The Assassination, I got sold on this, not only for the back, the passives, but that skill style where you can throw Merciless Resolve turns into a snowball. Oh my God. Killing people with a snowball is like my dream for this build. But anyway, Dark Magic for the Sork. You get even Minor Prophecy. You get those Crystal Frags, which, by the way, can turn red with the skill style, which is perfect for Santa, the red crystals. And but like, there's an option though. You can do Warden Winter and Warden Green balance, and then put in either the Assassination from the Nightblade or the Dark Magic from the Sork. Taking a look at the gear now. 5 pieces of Sergeant. We got the Sergeant's Restoration Staff. It's precise for that extra crit chance. When you deal damage, you gain a hit with the Heavy Attack. Basically at 4 stacks. It says 622 per stack, but it's the way it scales up, it's tremendously more than just flat 622. But our heavy attacks are going to really just keep adding up as we pull, and we're going to heal our allies off of the heavy attacks, which is kind of the cheat code of this build. It's the whole background of it. You heal off of heavy attacks, but we've incorporated more this year as well, and we'll jump into that later as we continue to break the build down. But let's start with the monster set. This new one, okay, the Black Gem Monstrosity, basically cast a soul magic ability. It consumes a soul gem, loads you up with Soul Splitter, and then when you heavy or light attack, it sends that over to the enemy. It scales off of, the damage scales off their health. This is insane to incorporate to a heavy attack build, right alongside everything else we are putting into this to work around heavy attacks. So the other 5-piece set, by the way, was Winter's Respite. That's different this year. On the back bar only. Okay, so front bar Sergeant, back bar Winter's Respite. It allows us to wear a Mythic, which you could pick one of many things. My favorite is Torque for that recovery. But that Winter's Respite, by the way, the Sword and Board back bar, which is very tanky, okay? That Winter's Respite, you lay down your Ice Shards from the Winter's Embrace skill tree, and in it immobilizes and damages enemies, and higher chance to chill them, obviously. But then it procs our Winter's Embrace back bar, which is a huge icy healing field. So it's kind of like a damage dealer and a healer. It's like a bipolar field on the ground, which I love. Snow Treaders was an option to wear if you don't want to wear Torque. It's perfect for Santa. Come on, he can run on the snow. You can't snare him, can't immobilize him. You can be stunned, but that Snow Treader is pretty nice, but you can't sprint. But that's pretty much the gear setup on this one. So now let's jump into the skills. The first skill, Chilling Soul. Frost damage up front, a frost damage over time, and gives us major brutality and major sorcery. This also is going to proc our monster set and load us up with that black gem splitter. The second skill, which I'll show here, I soul magic, I gotta be in battle. There's the gem splitter, it's over my head. And I light attacked and it shot over. It was that purple thing over my shoulder. The next skill is a heal over time, hits multiple allies. There's gem splitter again, by the way, 12,000. That was a non-crit. Of course, it's scaling off this guy's health, which is pretty insane. There's crystal frags, crystal weapon. Look at the red spiky on the weapon. But radiant regen is a heal, like I said in the last skill. Crystal weapon, okay, reduces their physical and spell resistance by 1,000 for 5 seconds. Deals 2 direct damages. The first one 622, and the next one about half of that. But it's basically going to also give us minor prophecy, which is going to increase our crit damage and our allies' crit damage. So you cast this every once in a while, and it lands on the heavy attacks twice, which is insane, with the Chilling Soul, the Black Gem Monstrosity, the Crystal Weapon, and then the Merciless Resolve we'll get into in a minute. Chilling Trample. This is my reindeer, okay? Almost 10,000 frost damage, AoE direct damage to everybody, okay? Then it does the Charm, which I think is the most ridiculous, annoying CC in the game. And then also knocks them off balance. So they're off balance. Now, the rule is when an enemy is off balance, they take 70% more damage from your heavy attacks, okay? It also will stun them. If you fully charge, complete a heavy attack on an off-balance enemy, at the completion of that attack, they will be hard stunned, which is awesome. It's just another CC source. Now, off-balance is insane, and the reindeer, you got to have a reindeer in this game. And he flies. Okay, Merciless Resolve. This is where we get our major prophecy and major savagery just by being slotted. Light and heavy attacks will build up stacks of Merciless Resolve. You can go up to 10 stacks, but it takes 5 or more. So when you're at 10 stacks, you have 2 Merciless Resolves ready. Now, watch here. The gold on the right bumper, knock them off balance. Here on heavy attack. There's a snowball. Look at that. Look at the damage of it. 16,000. Santa just threw a snowball, man. A 16,000 point damage snowball. And I love getting finishes with that. But between the crystal weapon, the heavy attacks from Sergeant, the Merciless Resolve, which builds off the heavy attacks, and then the monster set, the Gem Splitter, and then the Soul Magic ability, all just insane heavy attack and single target damage, and then heals popping off that from the Restoration Staff passives, which I'll get into in a minute, and also potentially Green Lotus if you go that route. Before we go into the Green Lotus and the Green Balance skill tree, let's go to the skills on this setup on the back bar. Polar Wind, big burst of heal, almost 11,000 up front, okay? Also gives you a heal over time. Also heals an ally, okay, like I'm healing that horse there. So that's a huge, panic button heal or burst heal. And the next skill is going to be Resolving Vigor. I did Echoing for a while, but I like Resolving because I get a lot more healing selfishly for myself over 5 seconds, and Minor Resolve and Minor Reward. If you want more healing for your allies, you could put on Echoing. It heals all the allies around you. Slower, but for longer. But you got to find another source of Minor Resolve and Minor Reward, and that's not tough. But the next skill, I love this skill in this build. It's the Gripping Shards, 1,000 frost damage every second for 12 seconds. Reduces their speed, increases the chance to cause them to be chilled. And then because it's on our back bar, when we lay this field in the ground, Winter's Respite, healing, is going to also come and show up right in the middle of it. I'll place it here. I'm in battle. Now the smoky fog is Winter's Respite. Let me move the shards over here so they don't overlap and you can see the difference. Winter's Respite, I'm standing in now for the healing, and the shards were to my right. Okay, so I love this. This is such a battle controller. Immobilize everybody so often, chill them, damage them, and also heal your allies with snow. Come on. Next skill, a big burst AoE. It's a scribe skill called Healing Burst. 7351 health for everybody. Heals them over time, but gives you and everybody major courage for 20 seconds, increasing weapon and spell damage by 215. And I love this. Another heal over time. Another big AoE burst when you're in the middle of a battle. They'll all get the hot and the burst and the minor courage, which is great. And I do too. So I get, everything's hitting a little bit harder with that minor courage. And I'm healing a little stronger with that minor courage. So next skill is the Ice Fortress. Major Resolve and Major Ward, basically Armor of Ice, and gives us minor protection. You could pick the other morph, which does not give you minor protection. It gives everybody in a larger area the Major Resolve and Major Ward, but everybody's pretty much always rocking that for the most part. And you still can give it to them, it's just smaller with this skill. So just get closer and pop it. Get that minor resolve. The next skill, when you run the Sork Dark Magic, Absorption Field, it's what they call Negate. 12 seconds, a big dome. I like to think of it as the Aurora Borealis. Basically, it silences everybody for 12 seconds, heals all the allies in the area for almost 3,000. That could crit, so it could be more than 3,000 every second in the area, and removes everything that's placed on the ground, any kind of AoE. It could be Dark Convergence, it could be an Ice Comet. Removes it all, clears the area, silences everybody in the area, and heals allies. Okay, this is great, a great big healing ultimate if you're going to run this option. And this was the option that you get a little more damage of, running the three-way, which was Winter's Embrace, Assassin, and Dark Magic. Nightblade and Sword. But you could run two for more healing. This Green Lotus, okay? This Green Lotus in place of, say, the Dark Magic one. Keep the Merciless Resolve so you can have your Snowball. But this Green Lotus in PvP is going to do a little more healing than the Essence Drain passive from the Restoration Staff. But in PvE, Essence Drain is going to do more, especially when you're empowered. In the PvP, the damage does not scale. From Green Lotus, the damage does not scale off the heavy attack damage. It's just a flat, you get 4,000. See that? 3692. So it doesn't matter if you have full stacks as Sergeant. It doesn't matter if they're off balance, nothing. It's always going to be reliably that number. And it's going to pop for that number. But in the Restoration Staff passives, the Essence Drain, it heals the target, the allies around the target, for like 52% of the damage done from the heavy attack. So the bigger your stacks, the more damage you deal to the enemy, the bigger the heal is going to be. So in PvE, you could have them off balance, you could have empowered, you can have full stacks and go way into that. And when that damage pops off that enemy, it might be 48k, okay? Because it's not reduced in half because it's not in PvP, which is a battle spirit rule, by the way. And the allies can get healed 20,000. Your allies in PvE can get healed for 20,000 or more health off of a heavy attack pull pop, okay, with Essence Drain. Now, there's a higher damage option. Instead of running a Resto Staff, you could run a Lightning Staff in PvP and still get Green Lotus's healing and deal more direct damage. I like the Resto Staff because that's what I'm doing here, a healer in Santa and Magic. There are some monster set options. Anthelmir's Construct will throw an axe off of a heavy attack. I'll show that in a minute. Ice Heart, that's an OG set. Just a damage shield, more crit, snowballs flying around you. Nunatak, which is frost damage, can immobilize them and give them major brittle, increasing all their critical damage taken by 20%. That's going to be big. Archdruid Deverit, I used this last year. Heavy attack, it does shock damage and an AoE around the target. Hits more than one target as well, and then gives them major vulnerability for 7 seconds, increasing their damage taken by 10% for you and for all the allies damaging them. So that's an option. But the one I went with this year, you can do Chalkthorn as well. It's a nice healing plant. There's the bear. Okay, Archdruid Deverit. See, the Atronach is now like glowing pink. They've got major vulnerability. It procced off that heavy attack on the first tick of it, by the way, not the completion of the pull. Now, Anthelmir's Construct will send a golden axe, dealing damage and reducing armor. Okay, he's off balance. Let's do a heavy attack. Completion, there went the axe. Hit him for 5181 non-crit. I went and picked it up because you can reduce the cooldown. It's a 10-second cooldown. There's 6308 that time with a crit. And then there's the axe. You go pick it up, the cooldown becomes 5 seconds. But again, I went with the Black Gem Monstrosity. Let's jump into the CP distribution now. In the blue tree, Fighting Finesse, critical damage and healing done by 8%. Swift Renewal, healing done with healing over time effects by 10%. I like that because of the healing over times we're putting down. Exploiter, off-balance damage by 10%. We're knocking them off balance with our reindeer, so that's going to be pretty much everything. And of course, this is a given and a golden must. Weapons Expert, 20% more heavy attack and light attack damage. That's what we're doing. We got to have that. On the red tree, our defensive tree, we've got Boundless Vitality, a lot more max health, 1400, and then we've got Fortified for more physical and spell resistance, 1731. Like I said, in the back bar, it puts us at 30k. Rejuvenation, 90 health, magicka, and stamina recovery at all times, just keeping us going. And the last one I did for the back bar of the Sword and Board back bar, Bracing Anchor, okay, 20% more block mitigation. That's going to double well with the Sword and Board passives that already reduce all kinds of block mitigation. I didn't display them here, but the Sword and Board passives make you very tanky, help conserve stamina, and reduce damage taken. Well, that is going to wrap up this build video, the Heavy Attack Healer Santa build of 2025. I love this version. I hope you guys have had a good year. I know we had a good year this year in the real world, and it's been busy. A lot has happened, but it's been a lot better than some of the previous years with a lot that happened in our lives, some of which you guys already know, losing my brother and some other things, But anyway, I hope all you guys have some family to gather around and congregate with this holiday season. If not, drop a comment and I will definitely send you a Christmas heart. Or maybe I'll send you a poop emoji, whatever. But I thank you for being part of this family, and I truly and genuinely wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I hope to see you guys in 2026. Area of Effect, signing out.
Merry Christmas.